Oh, your speaker? Microphone? Remember the cement?
I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, June 20, 2020 meeting of the Sheboygan County Supervisors. Are we certified in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes, it was posted on June 16th at 2 p.m.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Next, roll call.
There are 22 supervisors present.
Next is the approval of the May 16, 2023 journal. Supervisor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
It is unanimous.
Next, consideration of appointments by County Administrator.
Okay, to the Sheboygan County Industrial Development involving one agency incorporated, appointments and Mayor and Thomas Rail, appointments Don Hammond and Tom Brickley.
Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Supervisor Gehring.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Gehring. Under discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
And that's unanimous also.
Next is presentation.
Aaron Belt, conservation updates.
All right, evening, everybody. So the last couple of years you've heard me talk about Amsterdam Dunes, so I change it up to a little bit. So I'm going to go over hazardous waste, our household hazardous waste program, talk a little bit about Gerber Lake and the recent stuff we've done out there, and then I'll pretty much show you pictures of what's going on out at the marsh dam. Oh, the clicker may not be working that well. Here's a wink, Cheryl. There we go. Keep it going. So our hazardous waste, I know in other parts, at least in our apartment, this is a program that makes you guys look good. I can't tell you how many thank yous we get. Nearly everybody coming through the line was very thankful that they had a place to go with this type of material. So since the 90s, we've been doing this election. I think 98 started. Our budget is typically about $110,000, and then get a little extra revenue from the state to apply with Manitowoc and Fond-du-Lac counties. It's known as Clean Sweep Grant, and that varies a year, but it's usually between 10 and 15. So all in, probably 115, 125, 130,000 each is what we did on this. That usually guarantees about 3 events, and 4th of it is usually budget dependent, whether we hold that in September or not. So since 01, we're doing roughly 2 million pounds of hazardous waste that we've collected. In 15, started to accept electronics, and since 15, we're well over 1 million pounds of electronics. And one question we ask people come through the line is, and that's how we determine the fee they pay as well. Do you have hazardous waste and electronics, or just electronics? And it's usually the breakdown is consistently a third. So a third of people just do hazardous waste, a third of people doing just electronics, and a third bringing both in. So some of our events have been very popular during COVID when everybody was sitting at home and cleaning out the garage and the basement. And the sheriff was in line and connects to this. We were back hard up. The event was at Maywood, and cars were starting to pick up on I-43. So that was a big one. Typically, our bigger events are at the Southside Shed, Maywood, and then at the Plymouth Shed, and we usually figure out 300 cars for those ones. So maybe I touch on where some of the top nasty things that we get, and I'll probably butcher the pronunciation on these, but pentachlorophenol, nitric acid, hydrofluoric acid, and concentrated hydrogen peroxide for some reason. So Veolia, the contractor we use, and asked them, what a top 4 sort of oddball nasty things we get, and this is what they are. So pentachlorophenol, you see that on a lot of old utility poles. That was a biocide to try the critter stuff eating the wood. From a toxicity, all stuff is extremely toxic to humans. So this stuff does respiratory, blood, kidney, liver, immune system, guys know skin issues. Then the next, nitric acid. We get that primarily from the egg committee that's used in fertilizer. Also extremely toxic. I'm not going to go through each one, but it causes some nasty things to happen. Next, hydrofluoric acid. We get that primarily through refrigerants and fluorescents. And that can cause burns if you touch it. And that one sort of, you may not realize, that one takes like 12, 24 hours before it starts showing itself. So you may touch it and not know for a couple hours down the road. And then again, I don't know when people are buying concentrated hydrogen peroxide. You can get online. I took the picture, DIY chemical. It's 30%. You stuff buy in a little brown bottle at Walmart, wherever. Usually about 1.5%, 2%. But for some reason, buying concentrated. That can be used as explosives. I don't know if people are using it as repellent or what, but I don't know, or if people are cheap and want to dilute themselves. I don't know. Those are the sort of top 4 things that we get at, are oddball and like do some damage. Some of the really weird things that we've gotten in the last couple years, I'm not old enough to know what mercurochrome is, but apparently the old antiseptic that people use. That explains that, huh? So we get that mercury, no good. Sodium arsenate, that's an old pesticide. Potassium cyanide, and I think these are the coolest things. When people bring these, and that's a red bulb in the middle there. That was a fire suppressant. People would have those in their wall, or a commercial building would have it in their wall, on their wall. And if a fire started, you would chuck on the fire, and it serves it from oxygen, puts fire up. But it's nasty stuff. Potassium cyanide, that picture I think we got last year, the before that about there. Carbon tetrachloride. That's the fire suppressant. I'm sorry. Potassium cyanide is photography when people have their own dark rooms. And then DT, that was banned 50 years ago, and every year we still get DT. So they're cleaning Grandpa's barn or whatnot, and we still get that. A couple of other weird things. I had an older gentleman bring a curd jar full of liquid mercury, and he asked if it would take it, and I said, yes, absolutely, take that. But my first question was, why the heck do you have a curd jar full of liquid mercury? He was doing the thing. He's taking old thermometers and thermostats that had mercury in and pin it and dosing of it. Somebody asked if we would do 9 tons of glycerin. I said, I'll have to get back to you on that. But I asked him, why do you have it? And apparently that's a byproduct of creating your own biodiesel fuel. Turns out it's not toxic. I told start being soap. It's one of the ingredients. So we get some weird stuff every year. The last one that we did, last year, we had, it's an old farm chemical. Anyway, we get weird stuff every year. So, all right, moving. So this is a map. You try to keep folks honest. We have what their code is. We only had to turn away 2 people, at least 14 years that I'm doing it now. One from Manitowoc County, one from Sauk County. So Sheboygan County own thing. This is a breakdown of the zip codes where people are coming from. Obviously, Sheboygan and the urbanized areas, Plymouth and Falls, and towards the largest folks come through. All right, next. All right, moving on to Urber Lake. I'll just talk a little bit about that. If you move to the slide, so a couple things going on there. Since 2019, on a lot of properties, we've tried to start planting a lot of trees because a lot of our trees on county properties, like everywhere else in the county, are down to the old ash forest. So we've been able to partner with LNRP, which is Lake Natural Resource Partnership, and Glacier. We've planted over 4,500 new trees at Urber Lake. The previous slide, a picture, and we've had some schools out there. I think Sheboygan Christian High School came out for one event. I think Sheboygan North we've had there to plant all these trees. And then 2022, and then in this year, we did prairie burns on both the north and south prairie. And this slide shows why burn. A lot of people ask, why we burn prairie? For one, that mimics what would have naturally happened before human involvement. So, settlement every 10 years, prairies would typically burn, lean or not would happen. We aim for the middle, so there's no exact science on when you should do it, but rule of thumb is 3 to 10, and we aim for the middle every 5 to 7. DNR used to do that for us, but they can no longer, as about 6 or 8 years ago, no longer work on non-DNR property, so we have to hire out now. But it also combats trees and shrubs that would otherwise shade out the prairie, to combat invasives in a pretty cheap manner. It consumes all the X fuel that builds up over time to prevent wildfire. habitat. Some animals and plants need fire to survive out west. The ponderosa pine does reproduce without fire. It needs it to survive. So those are some of the reasons why we burned this year. You can see the field on the right. We did in April. So they go in, they get a fire break. The firm that we hired mow around 25 feet. So last year it was great guys mow for us and do a 20-foot break around. And then depending which way the wind is blowing, they start to back burn. You sort of burn into the wind so it doesn't spread super quick. And then they sort of go around the edges and then eventually it just takes off and boom, it's done in a couple minutes. So it's pretty to watch. But so again, every 5 to 7 years, and we have to pay for it. It's usually about $8,000 to $10,000 to have them out cruise. But so, and then Mark Dam, again, a couple pictures of what's going on out there. If you haven't been out, the dam project started about 3-4 weeks ago now. They're going to be the first was to build coffer dam so they can work in dry conditions. But the first step then was to take down the side of the dam not working on so it could pass enough water during a heavy rainstorm. Knock on wood, haven't had that happen yet. But so you see in the picture on the left or my left, maybe you're right. That's where they peckered all the concrete out and created a deeper channel for that water to go through and upstream there's a high rainfall event. And you see the coffer dam on the left-hand side of that picture, and that's where we're working in condition. So build the new dam half. Like I said, a couple weeks ago when it started, they have their contract, a stand completion date of December. Knock on wood, no major hiccups yet. Lunda is the firm that won bid. They had about 5 bids come in, and 3 were competitive, and the other 2 were flyers. They put in a huge number. If they got it, but they were competitive. All in, about $3.3 million project. And it's a good partnership. It's a county, state, through the DNR, Ducks Unlimited, local conservation association, Fish and Wildlife, and a bunch of private. A lot of them are anonymous, came in as well, donations to make this happen. And again, you can see more pictures. You can see them using the hammer over on the right to get rid of the concrete. On the left there, you can see a temporary coffer dam. That was they breached it, send water through. And then the drone footage actually from earlier today, you can see the marsh is starting to draw down, which we've been to do since 2007, but it's too wet to. So from a habitat standpoint, that would be good for marsh. So that's what I have for you this evening. Question? All right.
Next is public addresses,
There are none.
letters, communications, and announcements.
There are none. Those there.
County Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I don't know if my presentation was quite as interesting as Aaron should have gone first. But a number of things to report to the board this evening. First, I want to thank Aaron for coming tonight and giving us updates, a couple of the programs department oversees. I hope you all enjoy seeing some of the pictures and what he and his staff have been working on. The first thing I want to cover is a quick review of one of the items in your packet for the evening related to ordinance number 1, which is amending chapter 46. Any of you read that ahead of time, see there's quite a red line there, so I wanted to just take a minute to cover those changes. And there's 2 main components to this ordinance. The first is related to the highway commissioner appointment, and we started modifying chapter 46 as it relates to our hiring process, and at time discovered that the highway commissioner language inadvertently removed a few years ago, and it's a thing we took up now with Greg's ending departure. The timing is excellent. So it was hired in 2006. At that time, it was changed from a 2-year appointment to an indefinite appointment. And so you'll see that in the language, and shortly thereafter, the county administrator position created the county administrative coordinator position. So the proposal before you tonight is re-adding the language that was inadvertently removed, and also confirming that the highway commissioner, which we call here in Sheboygan County the transportation director, that appointment is by county minister instead of the board like all the other non-elected department heads. So I just wanted to confirm that portion of the ordinance, and the second portion related to our hiring process. And this to hopefully address the ongoing challenges we have with tight labor market. And the proposals before you are based on feedback from the department heads, and the hope is that it'll make our process more efficient and timely, also to clean up some of the redundancy in the language. So currently, as you know, when a department wants to fill a vacant position, they need approval from their liaison committee, in some instances, HR committee as well, and that create time constraints when trying to fill positions, especially if we don't have a lot of note and someone is vacating their position. So the proposal is to give the department heads authority to back positions after consulting with HR director on the need they truly to backfill that position, that there's a need to have position filled, and that was already approved as part of budget. And so the department heads will routinely report back to liaison committees on positions they are filling. And then, of course, if there are any changes to position, those would go through the normal process of committee approval. And again, we're hoping that will help speed up the process. And hopefully, here's support in that. I know the department heads are hope that this will pass, and the HR department is supportive of this change as well. Next, I want to talk about the handout that's on your desk. Hopefully, you all saw this. This is a report coming from Fort Analytics on the fentanyl epidemic by Knapp WCA. participate in weekly WSCS leadership calls or you were at Leadership Forum last week, you heard him briefly talk about this. So I wanted to point out that the printed version is on your screen and that you take home and take some time to review. There's a lot of great content in there, although I admit the statistics included are staggering. I want to just read one statistic for you. And Dale did touch on this last week. I thought it was important to state. So in 2022, U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration seized more than 50.6 million fentanyl-laced pills, which is double the number seized in 2021, also 2,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. The DEA estimated that these seizures represented more than 379 million potentially deadly doses of fentanyl, and to put that number in context, the entire population of the United States is 332 million. So it means that the amount they seized in 2022 could have the impact to wipe out everyone in the United States. So I think it is extremely staggering, and there's certainly more information like that in the report. And I'm glad we have the dollar from the opioid settlement coming so we can address this and try and combat the opioid epidemic here, not only in Sheboygan County, also about the state. So I just want to draw your attention to that report. And speaking of Leadership Forum, I want to thank everyone who was able to join us last week. If you weren't there, the materials are on desk for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or the chairman. And I want to thank Greg and Chris for presenting to the board last week on transportation broadband. All of the comment from the evaluation firms and everything is very positive, and the supervisors, you all know that it was beneficial. So we appreciate your feedback and hope you all can join again next year. There was a request here from Corporation Council. So we're still on the ticket for next year. She called me before and she said, "Are you sure I have to be there? I also have to be there." I said, "You're off the hook this year." And apparently her press was missed. So start planning for next year, Crystal. And then I wanted to also touch on the shared revenue. Also, Dale Knapp, WC, joined us last week and covered this in depth. So I went into great detail. I wanted to just touch on a couple of points. Certainly news from today. You go ahead, Shell. So not sure if you recognize any faces in this picture, but we had some from Sheboygan County representing us today at the bill signing in Wausau. So Supervisor Tom Wayne was able to make it there today to accompany other county, Wisconsin County Association board members, as well as county execs, administrators, and a number of representatives, legislator, and leadership at the from Capitol. So we're very glad that was signed today. If you go to the next slide, please. So just a couple of quick highlights. This is now going to be referred to as the 2023 Wisconsin Act 12, no longer the revenue bill. It has an official name. And as a range, it is allocating 8% of sales tax to the counties and municipalities. And the aid we will receive from this continue to grow as state tax grows. And the state sales tax has been in place since 1964. There have only 2 years where there were declines in that. So one of the most positive components of this is that it will have, it'll be a sustainable revenue source and continue to grow as the sales tax grows. And Sheboygan County currently receives about $1.87 million from share revenue, and this will provide a 56% increase, which will equate to additional $0.06 million. So total, we'll be receiving $2.93 million, and that, of course, will grow as sales tax grow. Next, please. There are some restrictions on it. This is just a high-level overview of those are. So, of course, not all of those relate to county operations. Some of them are specific to municipal, but those are the specific calls for what dollars can boost for. And I want to just end by thanking the legislators, specifically Ben Lemahue, who put this across the finish line with bipartisan support. This is going to have a huge impact on all local youth government across the state. So we're glad that being a reality today. And then finally, I'll just have a couple updates on state budget and some action coming out of the Finance Committee. They continue to meet, and still a few areas that are outstanding. But a couple of the things that have come to their meetings, there's some small wins for counties. And in the following area, we know that there will be increases. That includes the land and our conservation, the assistant district attorneys, victim witness division, veteran services, the ADHC operations, child support administration, GTA, although I'll tell you it's less than we had anticipated. And similarly, with HHS finance last week Thursday on a number of provisions related to HHS. And we were a little bit disappointed that it was less we were expecting for increase in funding for APS, which is a protective services, crisis, and to 3. So there are some small increases being posed, but we were hoping for larger increase, especially as it relates to crisis, to help combat mental health. So we'll continue to be monitoring action come from the joint finance and then calculating what might mean Sheboygan County. But we, of course, we build any of that into our budget until the state's budget is final, approved, and signed. So certainly more to come on that topic. But thus far, we are seeing some modest increases in our areas. So we're grateful for that. And thank you for all the work that you've been doing with connecting legislators and certainly voicing your concerns at legislative breakfast to let them know what's important to us here in Sheboygan County. Thank you.
Next is consideration committee reports, executive committee.
Ordinance number 1, amending chapter 46 of the Code of Ordinances, recommendation to enact.
Supervisor Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to enact.
Thank you, Supervisor Garrett. Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Under discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
Approved unanimously.
Ordinance 2.
Ordinance number 2, amending Chapter 12, Emergency Medical Services Council Committee recommendation to act.
Supervisor Barr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will confirm with that motion.
Supervisor Igner.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Igner. Under discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
Passed unanimously.
Next is the committee report.
2022 to 2023 DM report, committee recommendation to concur.
Supervisor Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have to concur with the report.
Thank you, Supervisor Gehring. Supervisor Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will second motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Bauer. Under discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
Passes unanimously.
Consideration committee reports, ordinance number 3.
Establishing seed zone on County Roads A and J, Town of Ryan.
Supervisor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for approval of ordinance number 3.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Brower. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote.
That passes unanimously.
All right, Michelle, turn gavel with the vice chair.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. This month we have 3 report resolution number 2 from the Executive Committee.
Approving use of American Rescue Plan Act of Funds number 7.
Thank you. It'll be referred to Finance. Resolution number 3 from Finance Committee.
Approving standard intergovernmental agreement 2024-26 tax revenue sharing.
Thank you. It'll be referred to Executive Committee. Resolution number 4 from Transportation.
Approve the purchase of assets from Rose Aviation LLC to provide fixed base operator services at the Sheboygan County Memorial Airport.
That'll also be referred to the Executive Committee. Business concluded. I'd like to entertain a motion for adjournment. Just see former chair.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll move to adjourn.
And a second. Supervisor Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I will send that motion.
Thank you. Please vote.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.